Hello and welcome to How the Business is Played. Let's jump right into it. Private equity invests in Utah athletics. We saw this coming, not so surprising. We didn't know which school, which conference was going to be first, but Utah is out the gates. That's the headline. This means college sports officially admits it's a commercial industry. It's not the amateurism I grew up playing. College athletics is transitioning from education funded to investment funded. This shifts the entire model. Decision making changes, priorities change, timelines change, accountability changes. And public universities have historically moved at the super slow speed of academia. And I can attest to this because I am a consultant and I work with said universities. Love them, but it's a different model. So, private capital will enable things to move at the speed of opportunity, which is exciting. We have to think about the bigger picture. What Utah is doing this is the blueprint for how things are going to go. So, let's talk about what is actually happening. So, on this podcast, we've talked about NIL before, we've talked about collectives. This move is going into something way bigger than NIL and collectives. Like now there's a way to formalize athlete compensation inside of a business ecosystem that's designed to grow revenue. Okay, that's a key point. The business is designed to grow revenue, and this is going to affect athletes and in ways that I think are mostly good. So one, there's going to be more stability, right? So now this particular deal talked about a $500 million backing. So that is huge. We know that there's money being invested into it. Exciting. That means there's going to be more stability. In the past, you're shaking down the boost, not you, but universities are shaking down the boosters for the collectives to get revved up, trying to get small businesses to sign athletes. It was unpredictable. Now athletes know there's legit money when a school offers. I'm hopeful athlete marketing becomes more centralized because let's just call it out. Right now on a campus, you might have someone that runs the collective if they're on campus. You might have an AD that's over NIL. If you're a basketball or football team, you might have a GM who does some NIL. You're going to have your multimedia rights partner like a Learfield that's selling the stadiums and maybe working with your major sponsors to get small deals as a part of that bigger partnership for the university athletics. So right now there's a whole bunch of people that are doing this work. Is a big fragmented and not working well together. Now there's going to be one business doing it all together, and athletes will finally be supported in ways that are showcasing them as professional athletes with a staff that's credible and prepared to work. Now it's feeling more like Athletes Inc. versus student athletes in the NCAA. It's really changing. My traditional wheelhouse has been on the brand side. Brands want in on college sports, but most are not clear of what to do. Let's just be honest. Brands are good at developing their brand. They are good at selling their product in traditional models. When it comes to consumer passion points like sport or music, entertainment, theater, they don't really know. It needs to depend on experts, consultants, or properties they are partnering with. University athletic departments haven't been the most sophisticated partners. They don't really know how to help drive the value these brands are looking for. But I have to believe that when they get to this model, that there's going to be people in place who have the pedigree and backgrounds that we have seen in the past. Excuse me, not in the past. Pedigree and backgrounds like myself, right? Just to, be blunt, people that have worked in corporate but also understand the space. If those people are in place, now these brands have strong partners. Additionally, there's inherent conflict that happens on campuses. So you got the athletic department, and I mentioned the multimedia rights partners. We're going to use Learfield as an example. I'm by no means I'm trying to throw them under the bus, but this is an example. You have folks selling stadium naming rights and other things on behalf of the athletic department. Then you have university developing the brand, hoping for students to come there as students. But more importantly, you'll have folks in like university sponsorship that do things like, I don't know, sell the wireless partner for campus. Many of you have gotten notes from, your university alma mater, and they're like, hey, we're with Verizon Wireless and you can get a special deal as an alumnus. Those people work on the side. and they don't work together. Wouldn't it be awesome if the wireless partner could sell the wireless partnership, or if that sponsorship for a wireless partnership could be sold inside a stadium? The MMR partner would have to agree to the sponsorship person selling that and agree that it's their deal and whatever the cut of the revenue goes. Anyway, I'm going down a complete rabbit hole. We're going to completely scrap that and just say this. There is inherent conflict on campus and that you have MMR partners sell things like stadium naming rights, and university brand and sponsorship folks sell the wireless partner or insurance partner. They don't work together. And that's sad. You may see lost opportunities. If you're a brand, you want the whole campus, current students, alumni, and sports fans. Being able to buy all of that in one group would be super exciting. Now you could map out the potential ROI with the partnership where it's been fragmented. When that friction goes down on campus and people are working together, brands are probably going to spend more money and invest more in college athletics, which makes a ton of sense. So that's going to be a huge unlock. The part that gives me pause is women's sports and Olympic sports could take a hit. Women's sports are the fastest growing commercial property in athletics. They are having a movement now. But at the same time, early from a revenue generation standpoint, and this is no shade, there's a lot of systems that make that so, but the facts are the facts. Private equity will need to decide quickly, do they invest heavily now for long-term reward of women's sports? Or do they prioritize the short-term revenue, which we know what those are, football and things like that. Title IX actually protects participation in sport. It doesn't protect the budget that enables the sport to be successful, marketing investments, any storytelling, any resource that are allocated. It doesn't protect any of that. So I think people just need to be aware. Women's sports could rise or stall. And so schools that double down, I believe they're going to win in the long term. But the schools that treat women's sports as a cost center, they're going to fall behind. Mark my words on that. And that's going to be a competitive differentiator for University Inc. A over University Inc. B. So I hope that athletes are paying attention to this, and brands as well. Another thing, Olympic sports, 75 to 80% of Olympic teams come from college programs. Yes. They either are currently in college and on the Olympic team, or they've done their 4 years. They've trained, they won NCAA championships. And when their time is up, they go to those world trials and they represent Team USA. Olympic sports rarely drive revenue, but they do drive national identity. Private equity typically does not care about national identity, or at least they don't prioritize it over revenue. Margins are what typically matters. Speaking from people who have worked in private equity or have worked for organizations that have been purchased by private equity, I hear this all the time. My question is, who protects our pipeline? Team USA is ready to show up in LA 2028, and we fought hard to get the Olympics in the United States. And there's a lot of infrastructure work in LA right now. There is potential national pride that we need in this country that could come. But a lot of that has been based on the fact that Team USA dominates, often having the most gold medals and the most medals, period, Olympics after Olympics. What happens if we deprioritize Olympic sports and the money's not there, the scholarship money's not there to train in that sport on the college campus, so they don't go anymore? Now, how are they training for Team USA? It costs money to get better. That's a question I have. That needs to happen now, not after cuts are made. This is a proactive discussion that needs to be raised. And honestly, I think the other thing is when you're on a university setting and you're operating underneath NCAA rules and all these other rules, there are some folks that are watching and ensuring that money is going where it's supposed to go, that women's sports aren't being left behind, that there's protections from an equity standpoint, athlete development, whether it's the the workshop on financial literacy, what all the things that universities have been doing to support the student athletes. But now we're in this new territory. These new entities can decide to prioritize that or not. Full stop. So, as I was starting to think about this morning, the fact that college athletics, while we've been watching it become a professional industry, like it is here and it's not the amateur model anymore. I think this is going to change hiring, compensation, expectations of those that are hired. Hopefully, it'll probably change transparency, some for the better, some will be a little muddier, and even how innovation takes place. This can be a really good or scary thing if people aren't prepared. Schools that are more sophisticated will accelerate, and those that are not are going to fall behind, and it's going to be swift, fast. The real winners in this, I believe, are the athletes of the sports that are prioritized, and definitely brands. I think they're going to get a big benefit out of this. And that's only if universities choose to make strategic investments over short-term savings. We are at a crossroads moment for sure. I see opportunity here. I have been working with universities, dealing with infighting and the conflicts and that I discussed here today. So I'm going to continue to do that to help universities and brands and athletes understand how to build revenue systems in a sustainable way, protect and elevate women's sports, maintain an Olympic pipeline, integrate athlete marketing, and maximize partnership ROI. I think so much good can happen here. College sports is absolutely entering this new era, and it's going to take the right type of people to help them. I'm excited about these times. I'm a little sad that college sports is turning into professional sports. I think fondly of my time as a student athlete at NC State University. It would have been a lot different if there were the pressures that are starting to be placed on athletes now. I would have been happy to take a check or two for all that public speaking I used to do on behalf of the Wolfpack, but that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, it does sadden me that it's becoming professionalized, but it was already on the trajectory. So what I like is that there's starting to be systems in place and hopefully credible business people in place to make it work. We just need strong leadership and people that have long-term strategic ability to make the right decisions now. Let's not mess up and send women's sports back. Let's not mess up and hurt our Olympic teams as we host the Olympic Games. Let's be smart, let's be strategic, and let's make this work well for everyone. So, hope you enjoyed this conversation. Would love to hear your thoughts on how the business is played.